It's Fans Corner. Welcome to it, and thank you so much once again for making time for us. We've just watched Mamelodi Sundowns humiliating and eliminating Kaizer Chiefs from the Carling knockout out in FNB Stadium. 4-0. Mamelodi Sundowns winning that game and advancing to the semi-finals of the Carling knockout for the 2024-2025 season. Crowd attendance, which is our first point all the time. I mean, there isn't much to say about the crowd. We expect this kind of a game to attract a full sold-out stadium, and that's exactly what we got. It also helps that it's the end of the month where there's quite a number of people with some disposable income. So yeah, it's great to see that electrifying atmosphere out in Soweto at FNB Stadium. Shout out to the people who went to the stadium. It's really, really, really nice to see a packed stadium like that. Difficult game for us to watch as Kaizer Chiefs fans. As you know, I'm a Chiefs fan. Yeah, what a difficult game to watch, especially the first half. What a difficult game. It's even difficult to make comments. We do these videos to do post-match reaction, but it's so difficult when it's a game like this one. In the past couple of seasons, we've always expected Kaizer Chiefs went to games against Sundowns with no hope, because we know it's at Sundowns. It's been built over a number of years. It's a very solid team, strong team, one of the best in the continent. We are nowhere near them in terms of quality and the level of competition. So for quite a number of seasons, we've gone to these kind of games with no hope. Just go to the game and just hope for a miracle. But this time around, there was a genuine hope that we could actually compete against Mamelodi Sundowns, especially given what has been happening, what Nabi has done to these Kaizer Chiefs, and also given what happened in the previous game where we narrowly lost by 2-1. So we thought maybe there's hope, and that's why it hurts the most. That's why it hurts the most for those of us who support Kaizer Chiefs. But Sundowns were very intentional from the very first minute, from the very first whistle. They just went for the kill, and that's exactly what they did. They went for the kill, and kill they did. That's exactly what they did in the first half. Could have been more. I heard Mama Ngoba saying we could have scored more goals. That's true. They could have scored more. Could have been much more than 4 goals actually. So from the first minute, Sundowns. That's the thing with Sundowns. Whenever they're intentional about doing something, they hardly get it wrong. They hardly get it wrong. So yeah, we struggled. Kaizer Chiefs, what I can say about the team is that I'm happy that Nabi has been able to fix what I spoke about last time and said we are now a ball playing team. There's a lot of positives that I can see from the team, but I can say that from this game, what I learned is that we are so far behind in terms of playing without the ball. The other games that we saw Chiefs doing pretty well in the league was because we are so good on the ball. Kaizer Chiefs is so good on the ball, and they are very good at sharing the ball. But now the unfortunate part is that when they don't have the ball, and I think I said it in another match, I can't remember which one, but I said without the ball we can't play. There are teams that can play without the ball, if you know what I'm talking about. There are teams that know how to play without the ball. So now you have these two teams. Sundowns are the kings of ball possession. They are the kings of playing with the ball, facing a team that can barely play without the ball. An absolute mismatch between the two. So that's why we saw the results that we saw there. First half, we couldn't settle down. Chiefs never settled down. And remember, in the previous games, up to so far, under Nabi, we've had the ball position on our side for most of the game, if not all the games. So now is the first time except that one we played against Sundowns, obviously. Now we are facing a team that is so determined to keep the ball and use the ball. They don't just keep the ball, they use it as well. A tricky assignment for Nabi and a very tricky assignment for the Kaizer Chiefs players. So I feel for them. Unfortunately, as a Kaizer Chiefs, we are not in the level where we can play without the ball. I think we could take some notes from what Polokwane City does. Polokwane City can play without the ball. That is why they were able to frustrate Sundowns in the MTN 8, where they narrowly lost through an own goal, and they also beat Mamelodi Sundowns in the league by 1-0. So they are a team that knows how to play with. You let them have the ball and you play without the ball, and make sure that you close all the spaces where they can punish you. So that's what Kaizer Chiefs, I think, needs to learn as well. You can't take Mamelodi Sundowns pound for pound. We're not there yet. We're not there yet. We can barely, we're barely mastering our own strengths as it is right now. So I think that's a mistake. If we want to take them pound for pound, we can't. They're well experienced, very well skilled. They can press, they can break against the press. It's difficult. It's a very difficult. So I understand how the game and how we got to where we are now. And the other thing is that failing to settle in the game, and then one mistake by Zwane leads to a penalty, leads to a goal. Zwane and Blom leads to a penalty, leads to a goal. From there on, it can only go one direction. It's a free fall. It's a free fall for Chiefs. They're definitely not going to make it. And what I said, if you remember, if you watched the video that I spoke about Kaizer Chiefs, I think it was the game against just the last game against Makesi. I said sophistication, or I said simplicity is the ultimate sophistication. Sometimes just play simple passes, man. That heel from Zwane was absolutely unnecessary. We are playing against a very alert team. The Sundowns is probably the most alert team in the PSL as it is right now. They are the most alert. They expect the ball in different spaces. You can't really fool them. It's very difficult to trick them. So that was unnecessary from Zwane, and Blom obviously causing the penalty. So, but that's where experience actually wins. Skills and talent sometimes can be outclassed by experience. The experience of Mamelodi Sundowns came through for them there. Like I said, this is a complete mismatch. I mean, you have two teams that are playing different at the different levels of their building phases. Sundowns are no longer building; they're just shining now. We were completely outplayed. The team was outplayed, outmastered, outclassed, outplanned, out everything. There isn't anything where you can say, but Chiefs was good on this particular part of the game. But there isn't such a thing. It's still a long way to go, I think, for Nabi. We need to get... There are many games that I can only imagine what the game against Orlando Pirates will also look like, because that's another team that's very, very good on the ball, and they can also play without the ball, Orlando Pirates. Together at Mamelodi Sundowns. Mamelodi Sundowns can play without the ball, and they can play with the ball. That's why they're so good at what they do. So I think Nabi has his work cut out for him there in that particular part of the game, so he still has to work on that as well, and even the players have to work on that. The officiating, wow, I think the first 20 minutes of the first half, there were terrible decisions. That is why we saw some pitch invasion from fans. We don't encourage that, really. We have to discourage things like that if we are going to grow our football in South Africa. But I think the officiating has to improve as well. It got better as the game went through. There was that corner that should have not been a corner, and that's why you saw an outrage from the Chiefs fans and the players. There's an offside which was called offside, which was very tight, but if you look at it, it was not offside. So I think it got better as time went on. That the penalty was definitely a penalty. There's nothing we can say about that. But the officiating in general, I don't think it was. We can put it at that level. It wasn't so. It was okay, especially towards the in the second half and in the second half of the first half, if you understand what I'm saying. So yeah, congratulations to Mamelodi Sundowns, man. I listened to the post-match interview. Mangoba really planned for Kaizer Chiefs. He understood the weaknesses, he understood the strength, and they made sure that they don't allow Chiefs on the ball, because they saw Chiefs, they saw Chiefs in the first 4 or 5 games of the season. They saw what Chiefs can do on the ball, so they made sure that they don't allow them time on the ball. Even when Chiefs is on the ball, they made sure that they press them. And the challenge is that Chiefs are not at the level where they can break against a press. We've seen glimpses of that, and they actually have the talent and the skills to do that. We've seen them doing that against other teams. But now we are dealing with the Mamelodi Sundowns, a well-oiled machine, so you are not always going to be able to break against that particular press. I think in terms of the starting 11 of Mamelodi Sundowns, that's where Sundowns got everything spot on. It was so difficult for the Chiefs defense to deal with the three attackers of Mamelodi Sundowns, because one moment you are dealing with Chalulile, who is back banging goals again. He's confident. You are dealing with Reynes, who's also banging goals. You are dealing with Ribeiro. You don't know. There is no focal point to say we are going to focus on this. You are disarrayed. It's so difficult. That's why it's so difficult for the Chiefs defense. So I feel for them. I can't really blame Nabi for this particular game. I think he did what he can do under the circumstances and given the resources that he has. I think the only position where I could say I spoke about it last time, but I think they should have rested Chivaviro, man. I mean, he had a terrible game. It's so sad to talk about him again, but I think he shouldn't have gone that far with his game. Could have even played Sahile there or Dupreez if he's available, but I can't really blame Nabi for this particular game. But Sundowns, man, what a game they had. The game plan they had, the technical team was spot on. Whatever, everything that they did on the day, and I feel that it could have been worse. Could have been much worse for Kaizer Chiefs. Let's be honest. If Sundowns wanted to humiliate Kaizer Chiefs even further, they could have. I'm sure they've also assessed the situation and thought, man, we've seen Pirates do invading the pitch after being beaten 6-0, and we know Kaizer Chiefs also have the fans of Kaizer Chiefs also have that character about them of invading the pitch. We saw that happening also in this particular game, in contestation of the referee's decisions. I mean, imagine this game goes to 8-0, 9-0, or so on. Anything could have happened. I think Sundowns took the foot of the pedal at some point. They took the foot off the accelerator. They just relaxed and just started knocking the ball around, managing the game. It's not a league game. Goal difference means nothing in this case. So I mean, the game has already been won. You know, they started relaxing, because if they wanted to really humiliate this team, this Kaizer Chiefs, they would have done so. It's still a humiliating score. 4-0. It's not a nice score, but it could have been worse for Kaizer Chiefs. Yeah. Congratulations to Mamelodi Sundowns advancing to the semi-finals of the Carling Cup. And thank you so much for making time for us here at Fans Corner. Remember to send us your comments, like and subscribe on the channel, and send us your comments on the commenting section. Otherwise, thank you so much for your time. We meet again in the next one.